Hola, Benjamín.
Hi, everyone. Good
Hey,
morning, good evening.
Hello.
Hi,
hey,
Miguel.
Ben. Hola, hey,
Hola.
Ben.
Hey, Ben.
Hey, Ben, huh?
Hey, Miguel. Where are you based? In
I
the
I'm based in Atlanta, Georgia. Yeah,
cool.
yeah. I've been following this community for quite a while. I said, okay, it's time to start swimming into the JSON schema. Finally I met Ben last year in Paris. So that was pretty cool at the spec booth. That was pretty awesome. So yeah.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. So I was in Paris too, but we didn't have the chance to talk. But I mean,
Yeah.
we are connected in LinkedIn. I'm following your contribution, so it's amazing having you here. So thanks for joining.
No,
And
thank you.
hopefully, it's not going to be the last. The time is not extremely bad in your case. So hopefully,
It's okay.
yeah. Hey, Juan.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, good.
Cool.
Uh,
How was the
let's
Monday?
wait. I'm not a huge fan of Mondays. I don't know about you and the others. So yeah, it was busy day in my case. And Greg, for you is Tuesday or is it still Monday in New Zealand? What it is right now is
It's
Tuesday, right?
Tuesday, 11 a.m.
Okay.
Wow. Man.
Miguel, where
That's
are you?
I'm in Atlanta, Georgia.
Atlanta. Okay.
Yeah. So it's 5 p.m. Monday.
Yeah.
Wow, man, this planet is crazy.
It is, it is. Hey, Jason.
Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon. Let's wait 1 minute more to see if we have more people joining. If not, we have a pretty good number for today to start the meeting. I'm going for today. I'm not going to make a spoiler speaking about the topics we have, but we only have 2 topics. So if someone have something in mind, I think that we are going to have time for other topics. So just add a comment in the issue. I'm going to share the link in the chat. And something exciting to share with all of you. We have a new sponsor today. Is a bronze sponsor, but is great. So for 1 year since I joined, we didn't have any new sponsor. We have another one a couple of weeks ago, but unfortunately we have to reject it because it wasn't following our acceptance criteria. But this is not the case, so it's a great day for us, and hopefully we will be attracting more sponsors in the upcoming weeks and months. So yeah, exciting.
Who is the new sponsor? Did you share a link?
Yeah, I will. Please don't make too much research about the business. because it seems following the criteria. So don't make a huge investigation because maybe we are going to lose another one. No, it's a joke. I'm trying to make a joke with my broken English.
Well, put the link and we promise that nobody of us will visit it.
And Hameen, I trust you.
The name is LLC. Seems a company based in the US to support this type of entities. LLC, I don't remember what is the
Cool.
meaning of the acronym. Limited liability companies. So
Yeah,
it seems to support those kind of organizations.
cool. I mean, as long as they're not using JSON Schema to build nuclear bombs, I think we're okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's is 4 minutes past the starting time, so let's get started. I'm going to share my screen to review together the meeting etiquette. I'd like to remind that we are going to record this meeting to share it with the community and also in our YouTube channel. But if someone is not feeling comfortable with sharing this link in YouTube, it's not a problem. Just send me a message and I take care of not uploading this one. Otherwise, this will be available tomorrow in our YouTube channel. We encourage everyone to challenge any language or behavior that is harmful, not inclusive, or not following our code of conduct. We'll try to stay on mute when other person is speaking and try to use the Zoom reactions for us turn to speak. And that's it. This is what we have for today. We will start reviewing the action items of the past meeting. We have one issue added by me, is a quick review together of the list of project ideas we submitted to this year's World Summer of Code. We have a pretty good number with great ideas and projects, so I'm excited about that, and hopefully we will be selected. Let's see. And the other topic was added by Greg, the issue 596 regarding the finding an agreement of definition of implementation to get it added to the glossary. Any questions so far before starting with the agenda? Cool. Just the past week, we have a great discussion, but only one action item we capture after this long discussion about the blog proposal that Juan prepared and this great number of huge discussion about the scopes and so on. We decided together that first, Juan is going to adjust the blog post to focus instead of implementers in schema writers. So we are not going to go as deep with the concept. So this is still pending because I think that this is going to require a lot more time. And
It is 80% done, by the way, for the record. I'm still heavily working on it and making changes, but hopefully I'm gonna update the PR maybe tomorrow, the day after, but it's almost done.
I feel envy about the people that is as good as you as writing, because for me it's like I need a lot of time to review and ask for feedback and so on. So yeah, exciting. Yeah, great skills with writing, and yeah, sometimes maybe I'll ask you for help with my next article or something. Great, thank you. The other is not an action item, but is part of the agreement, was see how we approach the scope topics in the spec. We didn't capture as an action item, but we found that implementers have different understanding about that. So it's something that maybe we will be going back when completing the new version of the spec. Comments on this one? Great, thanks. Let's see, we had in your previous blog proposal, Juan, I think we have like 100 comments. Let's see if we get a higher number with the next one. So yeah.
We'll aim to break 200, right? That's a plan.
Break the record. Great. Let's go with today's agenda. I have been speaking for almost 10 minutes now. So Greg, if you mind going with your topic, so people can stop, it's going to be happy to start hearing my voice for a minute. So we can go with yours. Thank you.
All right. So we had a big discussion. I think the discussion originally came out of what we want to consider as an implementation for for spec use is what the original conversation possibly was, but then out of that conversation, we decided that we needed to have implementation defined in our glossary as well. Through the conversation in the PR, I think I agree most with what Julian said most recently, which basically boils down to the specification defines functionality of validation and annotation, and implementation of the spec would do those things. And anything else is possibly just miscellaneous tooling. Julian, am I characterizing that correctly? Julian?
Sorry, as I fumbled for my phone in my pocket, but yes.
Okay, so I think I most agree with that. The other thing that he says in there is that this glossary is not necessarily intended for us to define very, very precisely what we mean by things in the spec, but it's more intended for newcomers to learn what various terms mean, which actually kind of parallels what we talked about last week with Juan's blog post, in that the average reader needs to be able to understand on a high level what this is. We don't necessarily need to come up with a very specific definition for the glossary. I think if we want to narrow down, if we want to like really nail down what an implementation means in terms of the spec, then we can probably have a separate conversation about adding an implementation definition to the spec itself. I think that's an appropriate place for where that goes. So I really appreciate that comment, Julian. I think that's really good. I would like people to go through and read what is in the PR with that in mind, and yeah, I think that's what that is. The other reason for bringing it here is just to make it visible to everyone else. I actually might go back and change this with Julian's text in mind. I like the idea of an implementation of the spec doing only the things that the implementation or that the spec says, which is validation and annotation of JSON data. And then all of these other things would be tooling. Alongside that, I'm thinking maybe we change the implementations page to a implementations and tooling, or just tooling page. Thoughts on that, on all of that?
Yeah, I think that it's okay to call these other things implementations as well. Some of the wording that I liked that Julian used, he said something like an implementation is usually a validator. And I think that's, perfect to put in a glossary because it's, it's gives the reader the idea of what it is that what they're probably looking for, but also is vague enough to include the other things that they might also encounter. So I personally would like that idea. Although I think Julian also said that he wouldn't consider code gen, for example, to be an implementation, which I think that part I would disagree with.
Jason, would you be okay with, or if the page wasn't just implementations, but it was actually listed as implementations and tooling, implementations and tooling, would you be okay with categorizing something like code gen as an other tooling?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I don't think it really matters, but yeah, I would still consider code gen an implementation. I mean, it's also tooling, so I guess it doesn't really matter, but yeah, I agree with Juan. How's tooling
Yeah.
different from implementation? It's essentially the same thing in my mind.
Okay. So what I see as an implementation is a piece of software that does what the spec says. So the spec explicitly says validation and annotation. And so I see an implementation as fulfilling that purpose.
Right.
Other code gen would be adjacent tooling. It uses the ideas expressed in the spec to do something else. That's what I see as the difference. Ben?
Yeah, I like a lot what you said about first of all, think about renaming the implementation section to be like JSON schema tooling, because that one is like more for the general public. And implementation, I think that is what I have been learning for the last months and years is like more in the standards. It's a standards thing. So, and in that sense, I think that is beneficial if we publish the definition of implementation in that scope. So we are all clear. And in fact, we have an implementers channel. So it makes total sense, like having a common understanding about that. Other types of tooling, of course, tooling creators are welcome on that channel, but I think it's beneficial having that definition. But what I think is going to be even more beneficial is make the implementations page like more diverse or with broader topics. So we can, in the end, what matters, at least to me, is the ecosystem itself. So, and the more tooling, the more people creating tooling around, the better. And the more things in common, the better too. Juan.
Yeah, I think I was gonna largely agree with what you said, Benja, and I think Greg's definition of implementation and tooling, that makes sense, right? As an implementation being something that evaluates a schema in terms of validation and annotation, and the other one is a REST. I think that is a definition that's accurate. However, I think on the website, again, if you're targeting somebody that doesn't know much about JSON schema and might not be even be aware of these two operations and something else, if they go and read implementation and tooling, it's just as a sentence without knowing the explanation behind, it doesn't make much sense. It does look like we are repeating the same thing twice for some reason. So I think it would be good to have like something more simple for the website, even if internally or say in the glossary we break them down further. For example, that's what Greg suggested.
Jason.
Yeah, I'm thinking about the community, kind of like what Juan was saying, like not everybody's super involved in these discussions and know the difference. We get people that are talking about how they're implementing JSON schema, and it turns out they're writing a code gen of some sort or building a schema. So like, I mean, so if we are splitting hairs about this definition, we're just going to confuse people. And so I think there's I think trying to be really precise about that is probably not the best for the community. I think we can do better within like our implementations and say this is a validator implementation, this is this kind of implementation, but I think they should all be implementations.
Ben.
Yeah, I kind of agree with both points, which doesn't really help. And I've forgotten what my other point was because I was agreeing in my head with Jason at that point in time. We could just make the page the tooling page, but maybe people wouldn't necessarily go looking for tooling if they were looking for a validator. I don't know what other similar projects do. There aren't many similar projects that have a standard that also index tooling. I guess it is broadly tooling, right? But it's kind of yeah, I guess it is tooling, and tools is what people would generally think, and there's the whole bag of different tools in that. And I think it's okay to call a lot of the things implementations, but obviously we have a distinction between the types of implementations and what we call an implementation of JSON schema from the legalistic point of view. So yeah, handing over to anyone else who wants to add anything on that.
Yeah, Miguel.
Yeah. Just wondering, so thanks. I have two quick freezing. So I just posted, I think, something OpenAPI tools that, OpenAPI.tools that.
We are losing you. I don't know if it's just me, or are you able to listen to Miguel? No.
I think
can hear you.
I know there's another one. Right, because when I think of JSON schema or validation. Oh, can you hear me now?
Now it's better. Now better. Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Sorry. So I don't know how much. I'll start again real quick. So I just posted that link to the. I've been involved with OpenAPI for quite a while, right? So there's tooling, and they segregated with generators and tooling. I mean, the different kinds of tools, right? Generators, validators, etc. So is that the idea of JSON schema? I've always seen it as, okay, when I hear the word validation, it's someone who's writing validation code against specific draft or etc., and not code gen or nothing else. Is that the right mindset? Is that where you folks want to keep it as far as the overall community? Is that the general understanding that you want to make sure the community gets? Is that right? Or
I would say no. Like, I think we want to encourage people to use JSON schema in all kinds of different ways,
all kinds of ways.
not just
Okay.
the way that we've defined it.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. That makes sense. Thanks.
I think critically, it's. I guess we're maybe trying to make people aware of things that you can use JSON schema for that's standardized and testable versus things which are not standardized and not tested currently, and it's a little bit sort of like Wild West, where every implementation is likely to be different, and maybe set expectations of the users of those classes of tools. There's the thing I would add to that.
the more we speak about it, the more clear is for me that the benefits of going with a more broader approach in terms like tooling, because in the end, our goal is bringing more people or having more people feel that they are doing something valuable, right? So, and everyone that is creating tooling is critical for us, because tooling is the key in our ecosystem. The spec without tooling is nothing, right? But we have the concept of implementation in the spec. So I think that is beneficial having the definition. And my suggestion maybe will be say something like, traditionally we refer to implementation as this and that type of tooling. However, we appreciate any type of tooling. So you will find in the documentation sometimes that implementations maybe refers to those specific cases, but actually when we speak about implementation of tooling, is all the tooling. So like explaining how it was, but explaining what is our current mindset. Like the more tooling, the better.
Maybe we just stop using the word implementation everywhere. We either say tooling or whatever specific kind of tooling that we're talking about, like validator or generator or whatever. It's going to take some work for, and presence of mind of speech for us. But if we just stop using the word implementation, the community will follow. And then, of course, inside the spec, we can define what implementation means, and we can continue using it in there if we want. But I think that probably solves most of this. We just stop using the word implementation. Just a thought.
So this was an action item on your side because was adding the item to the glossary, but actually it turns in an action item to me. So because I need to rename the section of the website, but it's going to be great. And also before doing the renaming and everything, I think that it's worth spending some time like communicating properly, and probably it's worth also looking into the metrics, because if we call it before implementations and it was like the third page with more visits, maybe it's worth taking a look in some weeks after the renaming to see if we see an increase, because maybe calling it just tooling is going to be more clear, and we have like the broader user base like just understanding much better what it means.
Yeah, this does create a little bit of a project for us as well, because we have a lot of documentation that says implementations, and we may need to go through that and identify where it needs to say tooling, or where it needs to say a validator or stuff like that. So doing this does create a little bit of work, but yeah, we have our next agenda item to talk about that.
And just when the book went on print, too late to change that.
Quick, change
no.
everything. Change everything. Everything's on the window.
Yes.
Start again.
Everything that is not in print.
It's a great second edition too. So like updating with the new tooling section. So yeah.
Exactly. That's entire second edition, right? Just change implementation to tooling.
Okay. Good discussion. Any other comment before jumping into the next topic?
One last question, I guess. Do we still need a definition in the glossary, I guess, for tooling?
I mean, we could have implementation in there and say, we don't really think of them as implementations now. We want to say tooling or something.
Possibly.
Well, I don't know if that's helpful or not.
I think yes. So
Stop
because
naming tooling.
we have been discussing about new users or users with not huge experience. So for them, is maybe they are not going to go to that specific concept of the glossary. But we hope the users are going to get more experience and go deeper into the JSON schema concepts, right? At some point, they will go to that definition and realize about, hey, okay, this guy, so this concept was implementation, or this was the previous understanding, but now we are speaking about tooling, and maybe it's going to resonate in the knowledge that user gain and just move forward with other topics. So for me, it has been a challenge to have more content in the docs, and it's better to keep it there with an definition that make all of us comfortable than just not putting it there. So let's publish it with this philosophy that we are discussing together, and I'm sure that it's going to be more beneficial than any other thing.
Okay,
Yes.
I'll make some updates to the PR and we'll see how we like it.
I will. Great. The next action item is just Google Summary of Code. As I have been saying for the last weeks, the experience was amazing for us the past year. Even though one of the contributors didn't complete the process, just having more new people in the community was great. Some of the applicants that weren't rejected stayed in the community and helped with other elements of important for us, like documentation. And the example of Agnibes, that was the contributor to Bauti, he is still in the community. In fact, he picked up the project that the other person didn't complete, so that's amazing. So it was clear for me and for us that we should be applying again. And the good thing, we have a ton of great ideas. And I completed the application today. I think that is going to be too long, maybe going through all the ideas, but we have all the mentors here. So Julian is here, Jason, you are here, Juan, you are here too, and me, because I added a couple of ideas. So we can just make a quick recap about what we added, and let's see if we are lucky to get selected. The decision is going to be published February 21, if I'm not mistaken. Greg, go ahead.
Matt Adams and I came up with an idea probably about an hour and a half ago. If it's not too late to submit, it's something we'd like to joint mentor on. It doesn't. Go ahead.
Sorry. I'm too excited of having you collaborating in something. So just go ahead, and I will share my excitement after you are done. So go ahead.
So it has to do with actually his code generation in the Corvus JSON schema. About a year ago, I published my own code generation, and I'm just displeased with it. And I think, like, the more I think about it, I think that the Corvus one actually works in a better way than what I've put together, especially just for .NET specifically. And .NET has what's called source generation, which are during compilation, it has these analyzers which will go in and add code to you. It'll generate code that then gets included in the compilation, which is really cool. And so what I would like to do, and if it doesn't become a GSOC project, then I'll probably just end up doing myself. What I would like to do is I would like to take his generator and wrap it in a source gen analyzer so that people can just have that occur as they're building their applications automatically. So we're thinking of putting that in as a GSOC project, and yes, we would like to co-mentor that.
Can I share my excitement right now?
Yes, go ahead.
I will. So first thing, it's amazing having you collaborating in something. So, and it's in Google Summary of Code. is amazing. So this is the first thing. Second thing, we need more mentors. So we are getting 2 new mentors. That is amazing. And of course, we have time. The application, I mean, the application form that I sent is going to be the same. I just need to update the markdown of a couple pages because we are applying as JSON schema and also in the umbrella of Postman because that increases our chances of having some of our projects inside, right? So let's see what we get. After the call, I'm going to send you the template of the issue template that I think is just the one that we have in the community repo. And if you have it done for today, I make sure that it's available tomorrow morning when the application deadline goes. So yeah, it's amazing. Thank you. You're on mute, Greg.
Are you looking at your tomorrow morning or my tomorrow morning?
My morning is going to be just to very late night. So yeah, just send me and I'll do it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll work up an issue for it.
Yeah. Thanks for adding your idea. Yeah. And sounds great, by the way. And Jason, Juan, Julian, if you like to share your idea in a couple minutes. Julian have some, so maybe just a summary. But so yeah, in the order that you prefer, just go ahead and take a minute to share what you are planning.
I think I can start with mine, that is just one. So what I would like to work on is on generalizing the alter schema project that I worked on in the past. But instead of having an implementation that I maintain myself, is rethinking how can we rephrase all the rules in a language agnostic manner, have a repo in the JSON schema org that contains all the rules in there and documentation about what their structure is so that other people can implement them as well. And once we figure out how we want to define these rules, we can extend first of all, the upgrade rules that we have to hopefully cover all the drafts that we can, and maybe even experiment with some things like basic downgrading support or something like that. But I think the bulk of the work is figuring out how we can represent rules in a way that it's truly language agnostic, so that we can all do whatever we want with that, and in any product that wants something like that can incorporate that feature into their, I guess, a product by implementing that engine.
Yeah, super cool idea. I like it a lot. Yeah. And as soon as if we are lucky to get it implemented, I think that is going to create a lot of ideas about how improve our documentation and our support for people actually have more benefits about upgrading to the last version or other newer version of the RATs. So yeah, that's amazing idea. So thanks for adding it. Next, Julian or Jason.
Yes, I can go next. Well, my thing is just having somebody help me with the language server work. I'm a little bit nervous about this proposing this one because this language server stuff is all very new to me. I'm still figuring it out myself. I don't know where the project's going to be at the point when somebody comes on for the Google Summer of Code, or what they'll be working on at that point. So it's pretty nebulous. But I'm just looking for somebody who's interested in just working on whatever needs to be done, and interested in working closely with me, because it's probably going to be not something that they can just go off and do on their own for a couple months, but something that we'll have to be working closely together with on. So yeah, that's it. I don't know exactly what they'll end up working on. Depends on where I am when they start.
What comes to my mind is learning about our experience when choosing the mentees. I think in this case we can like think about someone that like fits in this specific kind of project that you will have. So I don't know exactly how we are going to do it, but maybe we can together like see what are the soft skills that an mentee needs to adapt to this environment when there is not a solid plan. It's going to be like more discovery and stuff. So yeah, but I think that it will work for sure. And you are an amazing mentor. So yeah, we'll figure out.
Yeah, I agree. We'll definitely need somebody who's not going to shy away. Can be, good at collaborating with people.
Yeah, persistent, adaptable. Yeah,
Mhm.
all those things. Yeah. Julian, are you available?
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah. If you can share a summary about some of your ideas, because I think that there are 3 or 4.
Yeah, I am not sure I'm going to be able to remember them off the top of my head. So if you remember one that I forget, let me know. What did I put? So I put one. I tried to pick things that were reasonably self-contained. I think 3 of them were bow tie related and one wasn't. So one was about adding let's call it a plugin to be able to do performance measurements with bow tie. So measuring implementations for how fast they are at running various combinations of schemas and instances. That was one. Second one was about trend reporting. So all the data to do that is already sort of emitted by Bowtie and stored off somewhere, but it's not rendered in the UI. So someone could come along and write some widget that graphs how implementations change over time. I think another one was writing a React component, also self-contained, that was like a nicer version than the janky one that I put together. So some nice way of basically showing off schemas and instances and long lists of tests to basically fully replace the kind of normal way that Bowtie is rendering dialects. And then the fourth one was just something fun that I would like to do. And having a mentor that's doing it having a mentee that's doing it would just be fun, which was writing a formally verifiable JSON schema implementation, which has something to do also with what the recent paper was about, but they actually didn't do that. They formalized it on paper, but not in their implementation. So I think the fourth one I put there was about that. I also intended to donate these if need be. So if there's one there that if it gets accepted and anyone wants to jump on and steal the idea, you're also welcome to. And there are some more. So basically, if you're going to resubmit to add Greg's idea, I'm happy to share or for other people to join in or to don't or what have you. I put 4 in the 4 I just mentioned, if I'm not forgetting any. But I feel like it's reasonably easy to come up with more if we need them.
I have no knowledge about Lean specifically, but I have worked with other formal specification, even formal prover assistants. So happy to help on that if I can to any
Yeah, you just signed
degree.
up. Put one on the list.
There you go.
Yeah, I like all the ideas. My only concern is we only have one Julian. So if we get accepted, so we will think about having more mentors to support in some way. So let's see how it goes. But thanks for
Agnevesh is
adding.
going to do it. Put Agnevesh's name on one. I didn't talk to him yet, but he's doing it.
Yeah, I was thinking about him because he's great and extremely active. And it's not only about mentoring or having someone that can cover you in some of the aspects or most of the aspects. It's also that he just made the whole process the past year, so he can help a lot to new mentees about advice or how to manage the midterm evaluation, the last evaluation on all these things. So having him involved is going to be great. So if you have the yes from him or the commitment is exciting. So yeah, great news.
I haven't asked him. Oh, we should. I'll ask him. I just signed him up without asking him. That's the usual way, right? Just put his name on it.
You are still the official mentor of him, so
Yeah.
yeah.
If you mentor someone, that gives you the right to just decide everything they can do, right? That's how that works.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, I second
great.
also having Agnivesh on it. He's actually working closely with me at the moment on JSON Schema stuff, so he's great. So yeah, +1.
Yeah, he is. Probably he's the kind of mentee we need for the language server. Someone that is like super constant, persistent, and he's yeah. Let's see. We'll put Agnivesh in the decision of mentees. Hopefully, we have the chance. Okay, very quickly, my 2 ideas. I have been working in the website, as most of you know, but we still have a lot of work. And the page that we just have been speaking about, the tooling page, is not the best right now. So we have some great announcements in the new website, but the tooling page has a lot of range of improvement. We have a design that is good enough, but a lot of ideas to improve that page, like make it fully data-driven, with more clarity about how Bota is helping to someone that is actually deciding or exploring tooling. All of that is going to be available in the new version of the tooling page. So the first idea is someone that is going to help us to rebuild that page. And if that goes fast, we have other big enough features in the website. So maybe depending how that person progress, we can explore other big user stories of the backlog of the website. And the second idea is make the CCD process of the website like good enough. Actually, we don't have like a UA testing or anything. It's just directly to live any change. So we need to change that. So my plan is add LinkedIn, add UA and unit testing, add check of broken links. So anything that we can add there to have a solid deployment pipeline is going to be there. And the same thing, if we progress quickly enough, maybe I'm going to take the chance of having someone involved in building pipelines to explore if we can automatize other aspects of the community operations, like some of workflows to read newcomers to the community or congratulate for the first pull request, stuff like that we can easily do with GitHub Actions. So yeah, this is my plan if we progress too fast, like having something to fill the backlog. So yeah, that's from my side. Cool. We have great projects for this year. So finger crosses. And Greg, let's work on yours. Tomorrow, I will send you a message about the deadline, the format, and everything. So we make sure that yours is included. And we are done for today. Any other comment before leaving the call?
One that I put on the issue while we were talking is that maybe we should create an action item if you're up to Benja for getting the website ready for migrating all the content in the awesome JSON schema list in there. I'm not sure what's necessary, but also if I can help on anything, let me know.
Yeah, thanks for the reminder. This is one of the things that I have in my backlog in case the person that start working in the tooling page ends early on the schedule, because that page is going to be totally data driven, and we can, like, instead of just putting the data available as soon as possible, we can do something similar that you have, like having a good data model and good UI for allowing the people to make a good search and just add more topics. So yeah, I have let me find the name of the I'll share later in the comment the issue I created for that. And you are great in front end, so maybe as we are selected, maybe we can discuss about how we can share some mentoring in some of the projects. So I think it can be great having you in some of the stuff of the website. Yeah, because your ideas are great. So I'm taking your suggestion about
Let's do
getting
it.
involved. Yeah, cool. I think we are done for today, right? Okay. Thanks for everyone for joining. Miguel, thank you and welcome. Hopefully you are welcome anytime. And if you like to mentor something, you join the right the right call. Yeah. Have a great day, everyone. And let's keep discussing in Slack and GitHub. Take care and see you next week.
Yeah, take care, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.